would be good. So,
Okay.
if you guys would like to discuss, as Michael Lee seems in pain, I'll
No, I
let
got
Dahl
you.
do it.
Yeah. No, Mike, get up and find your notes on a broken leg. Chapter 100.
Ew.
Or chapter 14. At least that. So on YouTube it says 13. My notes say 14.
It might
So
be 14. Well,
Let's see. Because didn't your recording get messed up on one of the videos?
yeah, we'll figure it out.
I think 1 and 2 got squished into just 1 on YouTube.
Yeah, we didn't have 1, but then we had 2 and the rest of it.
Okay.
I didn't put 12 up there either. It just goes from 11 to 13.
I need to put on 12. Leave me alone.
We just like seeing it.
Jesus.
No pressure.
You know, you guys can record it too.
Yeah, I'm going to record on my iPad and also my 2015 Mac that throws a shit fit every time I even open OBS.
Yeah, I was about to say, Chris, I'm pretty sure you are the only one who has the capability of recording it. I might be able to, but Michael Lee absolutely cannot. Alina cannot.
Bopper.
Omar is at his parents' house.
He could record it somehow. He could have set it up.
I promise you, Chris, when I have the capability to record, I will definitely do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But as of now, it's not gonna happen. Let me pull up my notes. I have that. I have this. Okay, so 100. The rest of the group is trying to figure out where the fuck Sybil went because the plan is not happening. Apparently, Anal did not know what the plan was, so when he saw Sybil walk off with this lady, he thought, all according to the plan. Anal follows Sybil and this woman into the kind of like motel-ish in space and tries to peek in through the window as a bird, but the blinds are closed. He tries to tap on the window, nothing works. So he kind of like perches and watches the outside, but nothing happens for like 30 minutes. So he goes to find Lucius. In the meantime, Dahl is incredibly concerned because they tried to scry on Sybil and nothing. There was a barrier, didn't work. So they, still disguised as the High Archivist, their mother, go and talk to the person who owns the house that the woman had just come out of. She tells Dahl that she doesn't know where the woman is staying, but possibly in the motel inns on like the other side of town. So Dahl huffs it over there, but meets up with Lucius and Anal. My notes get a little... What sucks is that my notes are a little iffy on this part since I was doing a lot of talking. So I'm trying to remember what you said. But they knock on the door. Lucius slips in. When the woman opens it, Lucius slips in invisible behind them as Dahl walks in as the High Archivist and sort of interrogates this woman posing as their mother. We learn that her name is Silvaris. She's a procurement officer, and she had just acquired a grimoire of necromancy, but it was a personal inquiry that she was doing while she was on an official assignment to retrieve a goblin helmet. Dahl talked to her about the towers and how they are kind of like hooked on to the ley lines there, and that it's made out of an anti-magic thing, and that they need to be destroyed. Sort of posing it in a way that, hey, we're part of the society, it'll be great, because if the bubble or whatever comes down, less eyes on us, it'll be great. So they want her to look up this stuff for us, and they mention high magic as well. Silvaris theorizes that outside help is probably going to be needed to take these things down, which is good to know. In the meantime, Lucius is looking around the room. He does not find Sybil. There is an open door and a locked door. He goes in the open door, does not find Sybil. And while he's in the other room, Dahl gets up and is trying to get this woman out of the room so Lucius can leave, who is no longer invisible. And they touch the doorknob and are paralyzed because this Silvaris, this woman, has figured them out. And she reveals that the High Archivist has not been allowed out of the library for the past several years. and susses out that this is a fake hierarchist. And when she goes to investigate who it is, she recognizes them as Doll. Yikes. And she says, well, I'm not one to interrupt a reunion of parent and child, which is woohoo, and gives Doll some knockout drugs. And she does a fun little thing where she opens the door and shuts the door, convincing Lucius that she has left, so he walks out. She paralyzes and knocks him out. And Doll busts through the door, throws a lightning at her, and she just bats it away like it was nothing. There's like a little bit of a standoff where she holds Lucius hostage and says that Sybil's not here right now, and that because we're wanted all over town, guards are going to be coming, so either we can get arrested with the royals or we can go with her and get out of here. So after a little bit of a standoff, we decide, or Anal, who's the only one conscious right now, decide to go with her. She opens the locked door, and in it is a teleportation circle, which she uses and then destroys right after us, and we get teleported to a large, ornate room full of different sort of teleportation circles, and one of them is like, they're covered up or burned up. My notes are a little unclear there, but my notes are getting a little weird. Hold on. Right, okay. So she gets us here. Doll and Lucius are, I have here, dragging Lucius across the floor like a rag doll. Yikes. Sorry about that, buddy boy. So we're in this ornate room, and a small group of armed guards, all wielding like very large, beautiful silver swords, kind of march in, and with them is this kind of older-looking elf dressed very nicely, and he mentions that Savaris was burning one of the safe houses. And he is very, very nice to Anal, is trying to get him to stand down, trying to placate him, and asks him to dispel his wild magic, or not what are they called? Like familiars? Are they familiars? Yeah.
Sort of. His summons.
And yeah. And assures that Anal that we're all going to the same house regardless. They take Doll and Lucius away on stretchers, and we walk out into the Silver Valley. It's a beautiful structure, or like, it's a beautiful natural landscape that is like, the sides of the cliffs are like stars, and there's these beautiful, ornate, very tall and thin houses, and when they walk under, and all passes under a shadow and looks up, and across it is this beautiful bridge, and at the center is this sort of spherical like glass structure with all these pathways curling around it, made of like glass and silver, and a large chunk of it is just charred black and just destroyed. But we continue walking. We come to a sort of at the base of the valley, this very large rushing river, and these steps that lead up to this very kind of small circular flat house. They open it. There are 4 guards stationed outside, and inside are sort of like beds and, you know, wardrobes and, you know, a sink, like general amenities. And they put us in there. The older man introduces himself as Wyceric, and he is going to be our host. And unfortunately, we came at an unfortunate time because we're traveling with a fugitive. Inal tries to say that they're here to collect a bounty. Wyceric says, that's funny, there's no bounty. And that apparently they had been tracking us this whole time. I think at this point, Doll and Lucius wake up, and Doll recognizes Wyceric as a councilman. And when he leaves, Doll freaks the fuck out, explains that the councilmen are the people who run this place, and that Wyceric hates them. And then Lucius transforms them into a raccoon to get them to calm down. And when they come back, we sort of figure out ways to maybe get out of this, and maybe we can like tell them that we're trying to bring down compulsion. Maybe that'll lessen the charges or get like the rest of the group set free. But there's no getting out of this little safe house prison that we're in. And so really all we can do is just go to sleep and wait for the next day. So we do, and we awake to 2 people coming into the room, and it is Sylvaris and Wyceric. And that's where we left off.
Any questions, comments, concerns?
am with them and I'm awake. And,
Sybil was in the room asleep when we came in.
but you guys haven't talked to me yet, right?
No, you talked.
We did.
Oh, okay.
Could talk
Sorry,
the previous
Oh, right,
evening.
because you role-played me.
Sure did.
Yeah, it was mostly like figuring out what to do, and all insisting that like what matters is I didn't finish the video. I'm trying to remember. It was like basically Doll freaking out and everyone being like, "It's gonna be fine. We're gonna get out of this," and Doll being like, "No, we're not."
I'd like to apologize for not following through on the plans. I got really, really, really anxious.
Is this in character or?
Yeah.
So Wyseric and Solaris are in the room with us, right?
Mhm.
Okay, Doll's not saying nothing.
Okay.
I'll try to message Sybil. I know we've tested some magic. Like I tried to do a teleportation circle and it didn't work, but I'll try to message Sybil and just say like, maybe not while they're in the room.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize they were still in the room. Sorry.
So Wyseric looks at the four of you and goes, "Well, they're waiting for you." And he turns around and begins walking out.
I will follow closely at his heel.
Cool.
Uh,
Anal stays on the bed and like crosses his arms and doesn't look like he's gonna move until one of the guards comes in holding a rather pointy looking bident, and he grumbles and still kind of like looks like he's gonna transform, but the guard pokes him with it and just says, "Come on." And he's like, "Don't touch me," and he gets up and he starts walking out.
Where's Silvaris?
Silvaris is kind of just waiting for the rest of you.
We'll hesitantly follow, but try to stay in step with Silvaris.
Okay. So as you start walking out, she closes the doors behind you and begins kind of being the caboose of your parade, as you guys are making your way further kind of towards where the water is flowing from.
I'm just chatting with Wyseric.
yeah, I was going to say.
Responding at all?
What are you saying to him?
This is such a beautiful area. Are you taking new recruits? I know I'm not a high elf. I'm only a tiefling, but
Unfortunately, we are rather selective in who we allow into our society, so...
No.
I'm gonna look over my shoulder and like chat up Solaris just a little bit to be like, so like we can leave, right? We're just leaving, right?
It's not up to me.
Okay, but if I wanted to be in the society, I would get in, right?
I wonder.
See, it would have worked out.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have.
I'm joking, I'm sorry.
So as you kind of enter like a small patch of woods...
Can I say something like just chat to Solaris really quick?
Sure.
Not even like looking at her. Just wanted to offer my condolences to you. Grimoire of Necromancy hidden under your noses for years in Oakendale. I mean, kind of a lot for a personal inquiry. Whoever they were must have been important. And that being said, I didn't know that you were allowed personal inquiries on official assignments unless, whoever's in charge now has gotten pretty lazy, which is not surprising to me. But, well, I'm sorry for your loss.
Sybil's like snickering to herself, like.
She looks upwards and says, if anybody should be concerned about personal inquiries and loss, it should be you.
I don't think I have anything to worry about because I haven't done anything. I just wanted to get away from here.
She smiles quite dastardly and says, I wonder about that, but we're about to find out.
I don't get my uniform back or anything.
For that, doll, you would have had to belong in the first place.
Keep walking.
So as you enter into this kind of small grove and make your way up along this river, you guys emerge from the trees and see there's a kind of canyon that's much more thin where this water is coming from. But at the kind of head of this small waterfall that leads down into a pool, which then feeds the rest of this river, there's a large house, almost kind of like a courthouse or some kind of meeting building. Probably the biggest one you've seen here so far. And as you kind of go up and they approach the doors, two guards on either side open these kind of dual doors, and you hear them kind of ever so gently kind of effortlessly open. And you notice that there are 5 stars on each side, and then 2 larger stars at the top and at the bottom, which are split in half when the doors are open. As you enter into this hall, there's kind of a brief breezeway, as you can see kind of the pool to your right, and the glass on the left side of the building kind of further away, but you can see this long winding passage kind of deeper into these hills and these valleys. And as you approach a kind of larger set of doors that also get opened up, they have that same kind of starry symbols on there. And as you kind of walk in, you notice a rather large kind of grand room, very high ceilings. And there's kind of like this central lifted platform, maybe only one full step up. Lucius, be careful. But when you're going to step up onto the dais, again, you see this kind of circle of 12 stars. But in front of you is this kind of large curved table that kind of matches with this large kind of glass curved outcropping with 6 chairs. And there are 5 high elves kind of standing at the ready, waiting to sit down, as Waisrick kind of comes over and says, let's get them some chairs. And they arrange it so there are 3 chairs kind of in the middle and 1 more in the front. And he says, Doll, if you wouldn't mind taking our lead seat here.
Are they speaking in common?
Can I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, can I sit there?
I think it'd be best if you spoke as little as possible, Sybil, with all due respect. And I will say that in Elvish.
In Elvish, I respond. That's fair.
Just like give a look. Just give a look to all 3 of them, smile, and then go sit in the chair.
So as kind of Anal is walking in, it's like, not really my thing, but these are some nice digs. So about that reward, and he continues to talk, but you actually notice now no sound is coming out, and you'll see Silvaris kind of just smiling behind him, and he kind of looks down and he starts shouting, but he can't really do anything about it. So he kind of goes over with you guys and sits down, looking quite grumpy.
I'm in the middle of Lucius and Anal, and I hold both of their hands.
Okay.
Oh, I was gonna stand right behind Doll and put my hand on their shoulder.
Your call.
Just like look up.
But
you should go sit down, Lucius.
Sit down.
Okay, and then I go sit down and yeah.
Cool.
So the setup is like 3 chairs, like 1, 2, 3, and then one here, or is it
No,
like a?
so on this kind of large circular dais,
Mhm.
or dais, there's a lead seat, and then 3 lined up behind them, maybe like 5 feet away. And
Okay.
you are all facing this large curved table with 6 chairs, kind of tall back chairs. And you actually look out, and the glass behind you see the whole river down. You can see the library up on top there, and kind of look down into this valley. It's very beautiful, but also very intimidating.
I'm gonna
And
say,
this is
just
the
remember,
first
Doll, you're
time that
innocent,
Doll.
and give them inspiration.
Okay.
And like this is the first time Doll has seen the library, right? Because they were unconscious.
Since, yeah. A good
It's like
75% of it is scorched black.
they're probably just gonna keep looking like 1,000-yard stare at that library.
Okay. Well, now that everyone's here, Wayseric kind of goes behind and takes his seat more towards one of the middle chairs. And the rest of them sit down. And you notice there's not much of an audience. There are a few people sitting out and around. There's also 2 balconies, both kind of up higher and a little bit more secluded. Both have people sitting in them. And
Do I recognize anyone?
it's kind of hard to see as it's a little bit darker up there, so you're not really sure. But the one kind of over to your right is more filled than the one over to your left.
I like roll perception to see if there's like old classmates or
Sure.
see. 14.
You don't see anybody you recognize in terms of classmates due to them still being young and not really probably needing to be in this area, but you do see some old faces of archivist workers and some of the other kind of more noble-led families.
It's like that weird thing where it's like you're trying to like not make eye contact, but like everyone's looking at you.
Pretty much. And as kind of the chairs scoot in and everyone begins to settle, Wayseric kind of looks out and says, "Well, thank you all for joining us here today. As we proceed with the trial of Dalip Arton, long lost, in fact, it seems, for they have been gone for quite some time. I'm sure many things here, Doll, have changed, and many things have not. As I'm sure you remember, all of the fellow councilmen and ladies here. And you notice that there's 3 women and 3 men in this council, and you knew who they were before, and they are still there now. I also must recognize other important people in the room. High Archivist, and he looks up to his right and your left, and you see 3 people coming in, and you do indeed see Elavira and 2 other people. One you recognize and one you don't. One of them is Bellinor, which is Wayseric's son. The other you don't recognize, but likely somebody from the secret police. We also have to appreciate our retrieve unit, which went above and beyond Silvaris, and she kind of stands up and walks to the side. If you wouldn't mind telling us what has brought us all here today. Thank you, Councilman. Well, as you can see, I have brought these individuals before you in terms of, well, a bit of conniving on their part. I was initially approached by the young High Elf monk, who I believe is Sybil, who was pretending to be an initiate or some kind of courier. However, considering we are not a particularly large organization and I didn't recognize her, well, I was wary and offered her some red oak tea. And they all kind of nod, kind of knowing what she means by that. She says, after not getting much out of her, I decided best to take her in for questioning. But imagine my surprise when, a few hours later, I get a knock on the door and see High Archivist Elvira here. But I knew that couldn't possibly be true because we all know how important her studies are, and remaining in the library is one of her top priorities. However, the impersonation was scarily accurate. Must have been somebody who had spent time with our High Archivist in the past. I thought perhaps a traitor, but unlikely. So instead, I decided to play the part. Let them believe they had fooled me for a short period of time until I could perhaps gain a little bit more of information, and it became more and more apparent. The use of an outside courier, something we would never do. So perhaps somebody who was close to the High Archivist, but didn't know the internal workings of how the organization is structured on the outside, looking in. That narrowed down my list of options. I thought of Dahl, but couldn't imagine that she would actually, or they, would actually try something quite like that. So, when they were getting ready to leave, I decided to investigate further and found it was indeed Dalip Arton, long lost, very lost child of the Silver Valley. And thus I decided it was best to take her into questioning and the individual who had triggered my alarm charm on my bedroom door. There was somebody else, although I hadn't seen them, so I decided it best to make them believe I had left. And so, Lucius Music came out from my bedroom and tried to go into our escape room. Thus I captured him as well. And finally, Anal, who I persuaded to, rather than get captured by the current human government, instead to be escorted here.
Is there any reaction when she says human government? Like, do they, recoil or jeer?
They all seem pretty even-toned, but they all kind of nod, at different parts. And they all seem to have a relative look of approval on their face.
Where's Doll's mom looking?
Kind of out the window, behind the councilman. As far as you can tell, she hasn't looked at you. One of the councilwomen kind of takes a small kind of knocker and puts it on the table, and Wayseric nods and says, "Yes, Kirla. I just had one question. Silvaris, do you think it wise to initially have brought them here? Could not have Dahl also been a disguise?" Silvaris kind of looked down and said, "Unfortunately, I was outnumbered and thankfully only had to deal with them about one at a time. Had they all worked together, they could have perhaps taken me into custody. However, I figured it was best to make sure we got to the root of whoever knew so much about our society. Kirla seems satisfied with that answer and nods. And Wayseric goes, "Thank you, Sylvaris." She goes back to sit down, kind of on your right side, but more on the floor of the actual kind of auditorium. Well, we now know how we've all arrived here today, but the question is, what crimes have been committed? In terms of the three sitting behind Dalip, Lucius, Anal, and Sybil, they're all currently wanted by the human government. However, those matters mean very little to us. But trying to infiltrate the society, that is more concerning, although perhaps they wouldn't have done it without Dalip's intervention. Which brings more into question Dalip's fate. The charges are standing in terms of grievances: evading arrest, impersonating a high archivist, gaining access to the Sanctuary of the 12, improper use of a grimoire, and most notoriously, he kind of looks behind him for a moment at the library and says, the burning of Tura Ista. Now, Dalip, you are entitled to a representative appointed by those here, or you can defend yourself. What would you like?
Defend myself, thank you.
Understandable. So, what say you to these charges?
Well, first things first. For the official record, my name is not Dalip Arton. My name is Dalip Joseph Arton Alnatak, and I am the child of the High Archivist. I think that's important to note for your record. I plead not guilty.
To all charges?
Well, yeah. I mean, child of the High Archivist, I don't think y'all had many rules, so I don't think there was anywhere officially in the rulebook barring my access into the sanctuary. I had free reign of the grimoires and texts available there. Impersonating my mother, maybe, but what child doesn't impersonate their mother? Because again, she is my mother. And I'll look right at her.
She continues to look out the window.
And evading arrest, I mean, I was never handed an official warrant. I was never contacted by a society member. I left. I mean, maybe I would get a warning for improper channel usage. I didn't really leave without permission, but I don't think that's a crime. If anything, it's just unfilled paperwork. And, I mean, didn't really know you wanted me back so bad. So I plead not guilty. And this entire time, Doll does not stop looking at their mom.
Then you don't see the smile on Wayseric's face. He says, of course. I suppose it's hard to see rules if you always ignore them. For instance, do pray tell, one can't just simply walk into the Sanctuary of the 12. But you've been in there, so how do you get into the Sanctuary of the 12?
Well,
Not answer that.
how do I get in? I mean, I suppose you would get in if someone's gotten lazy with their work. Someone leaves doors unlocked. People don't set boundaries.
You know very well the inner sanctuary doesn't have a door.
Figure speech.
Nor can one just simply walk in.
I mean, I did.
Indeed. Speaking of which, High Archivist, he kind of looks up to the right, and she looks at him. And he says, "What happened on that evening when the Tura Ista burned? Where was your medallion, which gives you access and full rights over the rest of the library?" Elvira stands up and says, "Unfortunately, it had been taken away. I'm not sure who took it, but I was not in possession of it." "Thank you, High Archivist." "Of course." She sits down. "So," and this is Kirla speaking now, "you took your mother's medallion, and you went into the Sanctuary of the 12. And then you used a grimoire, one you knew was dangerous for the previous High Archivist. Donadia had perished from its own infectious pages. And you decided, why not a little bit for yourself? You couldn't use magic before, but now you can create illusion magic to impersonate. And if the tales are true, we're not so disconnected from the world we hadn't heard about your parties and friends' different adventures across the land. Quite a feat for a non-magical, non-fighting individual to be involved in all those battles."
Objection, speculation.
Unfortunately, Sybil, that's not how it works here.
Well, she's not wrong. Definitely speculation. I mean, what I get up to outside of society is none of your business. That's not really what I'm being put on trial here in terms of me doing parlor tricks. It's exactly what they are. Close-up magic.
Close-up magic?
I can't do that.
You couldn't light a match if we gave you sandpaper and the match.
So why do you think one lacking natural talent, such as myself, would be able to summon anything with a grimoire? Not to mention being as young as I was.
Ardreth kind of leans forward, one of the other councilmen, and goes, "We know that through different events, there were Silver Valley Society members inside of White Cliff the night it was attacked. There were some spectacular fireworks, particularly towards the southern gate. One of them saw you."
Well, that was magic. But I recently, in the past few months, have made an agreement with something that gave me false talent. I don't know its name, but I know that it bought me, I think, 3 months ago. And I made a deal with it to protect these yahoos. So, if any of you saw me do magic in the past 3 months, that's where it comes from. That's where these come from. But I assure you that I didn't do magic. I couldn't do magic until very recently.
Another councilman that you recognize as Councilman Vanali leans forward and says, "Until recently. But these reports of your magic go back almost 6 months. And what of the time that you have been gone from the society? Why not come back if there was nothing wrong?"
Why? Why not come back? Wow. Why not come back?
You're looking at
You. Yeah, why not come? Yeah, sure. Why not come back to a society that hates me? A society that hates exactly what I am? Why not? Because you all were so loving when I was here, right? I mean, if I had known I'd be welcomed with open arms, I would have been back years ago.
But between the petty theft and different things you got involved with, the people you associated with, it's hard if you don't actually try to integrate into the society.
Integrate. I think I tried integrating. I think you guys were real interested in integrating me. But you really don't know when to stop being a dead horse, huh? When people don't show natural talent, you just keep working them and working them. So I don't think integration was for lack of trying. I think I tried plenty, and I think you all tried plenty. But it's like Sylvaris said, I just don't belong here, do I?
I think you did once. But I think you burned us a little too badly.
All due respect, Councilman, I don't think we're here to talk about how I was raised or my thoughts and feelings on the society. I think we're here for a trial. A kangaroo court, maybe, but I could do without the speculation. If you don't have any more questions, that's what I'm here for, isn't it?
Despite the Hilarion reference, I don't particularly appreciate your lack of gravity of the situation. Thousands of years we've sat on these stones, gathered what information we could, and over 50% of that information lost in one evening. And for what? Your parlor tricks. I wonder, 3 months ago was really the first time you performed magic, and not 6, 7 years ago. A long time to a half-human such as yourself, but to elves, mere moments ago.
I mean, for what it's worth, I think you deserved it. I think that library should have burned, and I'm sad to see that not all of it burned. Because, for centuries, you have strong-armed and manipulated thousands, right? Thousands, all of you have manipulated thousands who you deemed as weaker into giving up things that would have protected them, things that would have given them knowledge for the betterment of our society, for our shared purpose, right? You all would rather see civilizations burn if it meant that you could pillage what was left over. So no, I think I'm taking the gravity very seriously. I just think it's hilarious. that you all put yourselves on such a high horse that you couldn't see that you are just as weak as the humans outside this forest. You let your own High Archivist leave, and I happened. And then you thought you could fix it. You thought you could just keep me here. And you all don't get it, do you? You're just like them. You're weak and you're scared, and that's the only reason why I'm here. That's the only reason this court is happening, so you could have this sort of facade of policy and government and all of these rules that you guys love, but we all know what's going to happen here. I could say anything I wanted. I could give an amazing defense of why I'm not to blame for what happened that night, but you all would still charge me guilty, right? That's what is happening. It's just
kind of stands up and looks at you and says, "Perhaps you shouldn't have vouched for yourself. It seems you're a bit emotionally close to this situation, not unjustly. However, there are many things to take into account. Yes, High Archivist Elvira did go out and make some less than status quo decisions. However, we tried to accept those changes. But we ran into a push and a shove along the way. Letting somebody come in and out of the society hadn't been done before, and yet we allowed you to do it. And then to try and teach you magic, give you information that others didn't have access to, and then routinely watch them leave. Something else we hadn't done before. But we hoped over time, perhaps after your rebellious youth, you would get better, but in fact it just got worse. And then stealing from your own mother the access to somewhere else that few others, even in this room, have been. I wonder if perhaps we have a mutually destructive relationship with one another, but unfortunately, you are an individual and we are not. We must think for all of those who live in the Silver Valley and the knowledge that we maintain, albeit much less than we used to. We've been able to recover some information, rewrite some books as well as possible, but the amount of knowledge lost was vast. And in the meantime, to have you sit in front of us with things we know are almost absolutely true, and saying they're falsehoods, well, I think we both know that that's not true. And you see him start to talk, and then he kind of freezes for a second. And you actually hear a cane on the ground and footsteps outside. But Wayseric doesn't look over, and the door opens, and in comes the red-suited gentleman, wielding his cane. And he kind of walks in, and he's looking around, and you notice nobody else is moving. Just you and just him. And he looks around and says, "Kangaroo Court indeed. What was it your friend said? Nice digs, but not so nice people."
You have no idea.
He begins walking behind the council men and women and says, "There's something else going on here. And I think, honestly, they're using you. But to what purpose, I'm not sure. But I do have to say, I find their actions distasteful. It seems that you agree. He continues to walk around the table and kind of comes around the front and starts like kind of walking and looking at each one in the face. And he kind of stops in front of Kirla, the first person to ask a question. And he says, well, what are you going to do about it?
It's a pretty loaded question. Are you able to get them out of here?
Not exactly. But what I recommend is it doesn't seem they're particularly interested in them. They all seem to be particularly interested in you. So if they're going to make you out to be the villain, well, be the villain. Make them focus only on you, and I imagine your friends will be able to find a way to get you out themselves. But I think it's going to require something drastic. You're already a pretty bad villain in their eyes, and he kind of starts walking towards you, clicking his cane with every other step. It would have to take something that they can't get back. I recommend, and as he kind of comes up to you, he points the cane back at Kirla. That one.
I'll kind of just like knock into his shoulder and just look, and I was thinking that one, and I'll point at Doll's mom.
He looks up at her and says, still not quite sure what to do with her. And quick death might be too good for her.
You're a really bad influence on me.
Yes, I am. But I did tell you, when I tell you to burn something, you should burn it. And Alina's frozen, and I don't know if she heard that.
Oh no, she is. No.
Nope, she's back.
Oh, she's back.
I heard you. Oh, don't worry. Am I back?
You're back.
My internet, I think, fucked up because my Discord messages were going through, but Doll is like, they're like trying, so it's kind of like instinct magic where there's like, they're trying really hard not to fucking conjure a bonfire.
Mm-hmm. But you start to feel one conjure up anyway. And he kind of comes over your shoulder, and as you stand up, he kind of puts a hand on your shoulder, but on the other one than Lucius did, and he says, you really have to feel this one. You really have to let it all out. Otherwise, they might be able to stop you. You'll have to do it in one go, nothing reserved. You'll be tired afterwards, but I can guarantee you it's a fire they won't be able to put out. And something they won't soon forget in their long lifetimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Well,
Point towards Kirilla. Just let
and
a
as
create
soon as
bonfire.
you do that, in your peripheral you can tell that he's gone. And Wayseric begins to say something, but in just a pillar of flames kind of coming out of your hand and kind of breaking the glass behind you or behind the councilman, and the terrified screams and shrieks of Kirla, you begin to burn the councilwoman. And as her body kind of turns black and everybody begins shouting around you, and the torrent of magical spells and things going on around you, all you can do is smile. And you feel the last of the flames kind of leave your hand in this torrential outpouring of emotion and energy and magic and fire and power. And you feel so drained that you black out.
Fuck.
While they do that, their eyes do not leave their mom.
Okay. And I'll say right before you pass out, she looks at you.
Smile at her.
Okay.
Brutal.
Oh my god.
Sybil and I were talking, and we were gonna put our hands on Tal's shoulder. I had that pre-typed out in the chat box.
It's too late. They just burned someone alive.
Well, it's okay, because we're gonna grab you and get out of there.
Yep.
So, in the flurry of motion after that very horrific sight, you were escorted out with Dahl being left behind by a large retinue of guards and Sylvaris. And they lead you back to this holding house that you were originally on. And you're all still kind of in shock at just what happened. And as you kind of all get settled and the doors are kind of closed and locked, you all get a reminiscent feeling of another party member who had done things in the past that were questionable.
What's the new Garen?
Did
I don't know who you're messaging, because if it's me, I ain't getting them.
No, it's in the Roll20 chat.
Oh, okay.
on Roll20 something. Mike Lee. You're not Mike Lee. Lucius. Doll just burned alive that lady.
We don't know that it was Dahl. We don't know that it was Dahl. Did we see her do the snap and point thing?
The flames are like full-on fire blasting from her.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just coming out of the earth.
them.
Okay.
I like to think it was like, remember when Dahl got taken over by their old boss? It just like comes out and shoots forward with the snap.
Okay. Yeah, Dahl just burned someone alive.
Yeah, Doll just burned someone alive.
I think our defense strategy has gone to escape.
I think it's gone to escape. Okay, we can do this.
Anal kind of looks around and says, how are we supposed to get out of here? Even if I change into a spider, one of the smallest things I can change into, and look around at all the cracks, and I can't get out. It's so frustrating.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll figure it out. We've done it before. Lucius, we've done it
When they
before.
come and get us, we just have to overpower them and run away.
It's gonna be fine. And then they'll go on high alert looking for us, and we'll stay low, and then we'll break out Dahl. We'll ask them.
Where would they put Dahl? Where would they put Dahl?
They put Dahl far away from us. They put Dahl as far away from us as they could. They don't care about us. They literally don't care about us. They don't think we're a threat. That's fine. It's fine. We don't want them to think we're a threat.
They're just gonna leave us here forever.
Would they put Dahl in the library? They wouldn't put Dahl in the library. That'd just be sick. They're just gonna leave us here forever.
Yeah, we gotta get out.
We gotta get out. Okay.
Where would they put Dahl? We're in the only prison in town.
Okay.
They just lock her in the courthouse?
Everybody hold my hands. Please. Okay. And all, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 3. Okay. Ready? Steady. Sit down. Okay. Okay, what do we do? Let's inspect the door. Inspect the door.
Door is
Okay.
locked.
Door is locked. Cool. Okay. Lucius, message doll.
Okay.
Just try. Just try.
A point
We have to try everything.
where the court was.
Just think about doll in your head. Think doll as clearly as you can.
Hey, doll, you get all your burning hatred out?
No response.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna put my ear to the door.
Hear the water going by and a little bit of wind. And you see the sun going down, kind of in the kind of frosted glass. And you see the 2 guards standing outside, but nothing else.
Bell corruption mark. Baby.
Can you, like, tear up the floorboards? Or is it stone?
It's floorboards, but they look pretty sturdy. What if we cause a big commotion and they open the door and then Sybil does the little pokey pokey thing and they both fall down?
We could try that. We could just ask them to let us go.
Finally, and he goes and he just picks up a chair and just smashes it on the ground. He's like, I hate this fancy place. And he just starts going around. He just starts trashing the place.
Is there any place? Are there rafters? Or
There are rafters.
I'm going to climb. I'm going to run up and grab the beam.
'Kay.
Beam. All right, get him in here.
And I'm gonna bang on the door and say, hey! We just witnessed a traumatic event. I could use some counseling.
The doors remain closed.
All right. Is there a window above the door?
There are windows all around, but they're all sealed shut.
Do any of you guys have glass breaking abilities?
All and I can use lightning.
Oh my god. So, Anil, did you just break our only chair?
He looks and he's holding the shattered remains of a 4th chair and he says, yes. And he just drops the wood. And then he just I forget what it's called, but the up foot and down foot on the table, and he cracks it a little bit and he's like, ow.
Well, that's fluffer.
And then he sits on it and it breaks.
So we're all freaking out here. Okay. Okay. What? Lucius, can you vicious mockery through the door?
Can try. Hey, guard on the right, you're smelly, and your mother doesn't like you.
And your mother smelled of elderberries.
Nothing appears to happen to the guard on the outside of the door.
Is Doll's bag in the room? There's special
yes.
lockpicks.
Oh, if Doll has lockpicks, I can try. Well, actually, what's your sleight of hand? Mine's +4.
Entire -7.
Oh, then you try.
Is there a lock to be picked on this door?
Mm-mm.
No.
You always hear it from the outside, but you imagine on the inside there's no access to the lock.
Can I just break this door down
You can
With my-
certainly try.
with my many punches?
Flurry of blows.
My fury of blows. I guess I need to do a d20 to see if I can even hit the door.
Sounds good.
You know. Bruh.
You hit the door. Unfortunately, you see kind of a similar experience of like the staff doesn't quite make contact with the door when it gets repelled away.
Okay. So we're fucked.
So, Doll,
Spell magic.
you feel
Yes.
yourself getting dragged. And you're kind of like out of it. But you can hear them saying, well, I guess it makes sense. She is crazy. Well, they are a bit overloaded at this point, I'm sure. But that does mean they're probably ready. Probably. Back inside the captured house.
Okay. Are there please describe the room to me, please. One more time.
Kind of like this nice cabined villa on this little island that connects to kind of the left side of the valley through a small little bridge. And there's kind of water going around this little island that you're on. There's like kind of a little kitchenette and a little water closet. It looks like there's an outside kind of area, but you just see occasional shadows move by. And as the sun's going down and it's beginning to get dark outside, you're seeing less and less, and it's getting darker in the room. But there's like 6 beds along the wall.
All right. We're going to work on the windows that are sealed shut. Lucius.
I'm gonna try to headbutt it. A horn.
Not going to do that. That might be
They also don't seem to quite make contact, and
copy. Okay.
you're gonna take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as you like pull back and being like, that probably wasn't the best idea to do with my head.
Okay, so right. Okay.
We need to get rid of this ward. I can shatter the windows. I need my magic to get through.
Yeah.
Does a null have like a dispel?
He
magic?
is having fun trashing the place. We're all gonna go over there and destroy the place.
I'll cast Shatter on window.
Okay. It is incredibly loud. And you see a small kind of pane of the window crack, but that's it.
I'm gonna run back onto the rafters above the door just in case.
Okay.
Just in case the people come in.
Nothing else happens.
Okay.
Doll. You wake up some amount of time later, and you are kind of strapped to a chair. And there are bars. And unlike a lot of the other parts of the Silver Valley, it's pretty dark. It's not usually the aesthetic. And looking around, there's like some candles lit all around the room. And you hear voices in a room outside, but you can't quite hear what they're saying. And you hear a cane click again. And the red gentleman walks in front of the bars and kind of hits them with his cane and says, "Well, quite the show you put on."
Well, at least I can impress somebody.
Oh, very impressed. Didn't think you'd have it in you to burn somebody alive.
I didn't think I did either. I really did that?
Sure did. Seems they're taking you more seriously now, but also seems like there's more going on here.
What are they talking about out there? I hear some people talking.
Afraid I don't know.
Would you like to find out? Because if I'm strapped to a chair, I can't really burn things for you anymore.
He pulls out a pocket watch and says, "Fortunately, I have other places to be, doll."
You're joking. Come on, man. I could really use your help here, man. I'd burn something for you tonight. I help you, you help me. Get me out of this chair.
I don't think that will help you.
I am open to suggestions.
There's still more to be seen here. I don't think they're going to kill you yet.
That's a relief. Great. What happened to the others? Are they out?
From what I can tell, escorted back to the building that you were originally in, otherwise unharmed.
Good. Okay. Think. I can think.
Keep your eyes open, doll.
Want to blink into Eldrick's sight and see what in this room is magical.
Okay. As you blink, he is gone. And you look around and you notice the bars to the cell are definitely magical, as are the ropes and chair that you are attached to.
And it's a certain type of magic.
Definitely seems to be of a enchantment defensive based magic.
Okay. I'm going to cast Dispel Magic on the chair, binding them down.
Doesn't come.
At 5th level?
You can't even feel the magic come. You feel like you're pretty drained.
Oh, do I have no spell slots?
Appears so.
Okay, marking that down. Okay, that's not gonna work. What will work? I have none of my stuff. Do I have my spell book, or did I leave that in the room? I had that on my hip.
Seems like it's been taken off of you.
Okay. Let's see what do I have. Are my wrists still lit up?
The bracers are still there.
Let's see, I want to try... Yeah, I meant to just look at that in my thing, but I put it in the chat. Can I try using Astral Refuge to, I want to, go in there and then see if I can just appear back, a centimeter off. So it's I reappear back, sitting in the chair, but not strapped down to it. Anything?
You try to phase out, but something is holding you very much in place.
Okay, so I have no magic. I'm strapped to a chair. Boss is no help. Think.
And the only thing you can think about is your friends.
Oh, I fucked up. Oh, I fucked up so bad. Oh. I try to send a message to Lucius.
You can try.
Okay, I'll try. I'll just... Lucius? Are you okay? Awesome.
Unfortunately, nothing. And you weren't really sure how long you were out. But the door opens and some elves come in. One of them is Wayseric. But he's changed robes. And they're much darker than they were before. Well, if they aren't awake.
Councilman?
Delete. I think it's time you earn that Altinic last name. We'll see if you can help us with what you started.
What are you talking about?
We're gonna go on a little walk.
Like hell, I'll spit at him.
Okay. He kind of catch him on the chest and he looks down at it and goes, "Oh, I can't wait to see what happens to you."
What's gonna happen to you? You saw your friend Kirla? You saw the councilwoman there? I'd love to get my fucking hands on you, Wayseric.
Sure you would. But there's not much time left for you.
And what is that supposed to mean?
Don't worry about it. Back inside the villa, a few hours have gone by. Anal has successfully smashed much of the furniture in the area, and successfully ripped up many things, broken a lot of the glasses and things.
I would like to start, like, punching the glass that was just cracked.
Okay.
And just, like, really dirty stance, like, 1, 2, 1, 2, going back and forth, just, like, putting everything behind it, like, we're getting out.
How long have you been at this?
Well, if you said a couple hours went by, I would say I'd probably do it on intervals. Like, if other things have happened, obviously if the boys have made more noise, I would, like, go and try and ambush the guards, etc., etc. But I'd probably do a solid, like, honestly, I probably at this point would have used up, like, 3 key points, doing flurry of blows, trying to, like, gather up energy, but, like, in between sessions, I'd probably take, like, 20 minutes of meditation, trying to, like, really center myself on the idea of we are getting out of here, whatever it takes.
Lucius, what are you doing?
I think I'd take the pieces of broken furniture and try to, like, hammer them against the glass as well, just to, like, puncture.
Okay. I'm going to just say that Anal is kind of walking in the back, looking outside the backside, and just, like, kind of muttering under his breath. It's like, this is bullshit. And he's just, like, walking back and forth. And at this point, it's probably getting close to midnight. and you're all kind of like taking a break as you're kind of sitting on the kind of messed up beds. And Anal just says, "Why haven't they brought Doll back?"
They're gonna put Doll on even harder trial, since I don't think there's any way that Doll can get out of this one.
But what made her do it? I mean, I was all for it, but it was pretty gnarly.
You know, we don't know who this lady was. I don't want to just judge Doll, and I don't want to just judge that lady. I mean, obviously, I know the society is a cult, but I need to hear what Doll says. But I have a feeling it was so much fire, and you know Doll doesn't like fire. I mean...
Yeah, it looked like almost the inverse of her previous patron. When instead of her getting covered with fire, she covered someone else.
Yeah, I mean, it just...
Hey?
It looked really bad. That's all I can see. Fine. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay.
And you hear distant...
I just want to see what it looks like.
I
just want to see what the... Is Winston okay?
He's just excited to see somebody outside. What'd you say?
I just want to see what the glass looks like.
Looks like the crack is spread a little bit, but not by much. But you do see... you see the guards going across the bridge away from you. It's hard to see through the frosted glass, but it looks like 2 people are walking up. You're not sure if it's like a guard change or anything. But you hear the telltale sound of metal sliding into a lock. And a click.
I dropped the piece of wood I was holding.
Okay.
I'm running up onto the ceiling.
Okay.
I stand like a bad puppy, like, I didn't do it.
And the door opens up. And in walks Elvira, Doll's mother. And she kind of surveys the room, and Null's kind of like crouched, like half, like ready to transform. And she says, "There's not much time. I need your help. We need to save my doll."
I'm gonna jump down behind her and sort of slow fall so I don't make too much noise.
And you land,
Yeah.
and you feel a knife get raised up to your neck.
Motherfucker.
And you kind of look over you, and you see one of the people that had escorted Elvira into the kind of auditorium. And it's Qatar, which is the other person, the woman that was kind of escorting her in there.
Okay, so I feel it on my neck. I really just want to grab her hand very quickly and be like, "I'm obviously with Doll. What the? Get that off of me. Like, excuse me. Like, fuck off."
Where is she? Hey, where are they?
On the other side of the High Archivist, Doll's mother. And Doll's mother turns around and says, "Qatar, it's okay. Let her go." And she kind of pulls the knife and slots it back in and kind of stands there. And she says, "I understand that this is very confusing, but there's not a lot of time to explain. I and there's a lot at stake.
We're going. We're with you.
Okay.
First ball.
She turns and begins walking across the bridge, and as you all start to slowly follow...
But if this is a fucking trick and you're not bringing us to Doll, I am going to kill you.
She turns around and says, "Why would I need to trick you? You were already trapped inside.
We were getting out!
They're probably already bringing her there now. We have to hurry." So she begins walking at a little bit faster than normal pace, but you all see that your visages change, and you notice that seeming has been cast on all of you to look like the guards that had previously been standing around the building. As you begin walking, you are heading kind of the similar path that you were before, but there was a turn in that small wooded area, and you take a left. And inside there is kind of this large chute, cylindrical, and there is a plate on the ground that when you step over it, Elvira kind of puts her hand up and waves it, and the whole platform starts to raise up. And a moment passes, and she looks around and says, "Back when Doll was originally here, I do know that she did something in the library regarding the previous notes by my predecessor. Unfortunately, it appears that she, or they, were more confused originally about what she was bringing. When Doll attempted it, they succeeded, and although not fully, well, something has infected the minds of my compatriots here. And I have been forced to research and try to accelerate the process, but unfortunately, I'm not the person that's needed to accelerate the process. Doll, you are being kind of taken through these multiple passageways, and you can definitely tell that they're the insides of one of the sides of the Silver Valley.
I am shit-talking Wyseric this entire time. Like, Doll is not shutting up. I'm just like, you were so far up your fucking head, you couldn't see me coming twice. I have brought you to your fucking knees with a cantrip. Are you kidding me? Be great. Silmanon gets fucked up by a bastard
child. And all of a
sudden,
sudden, one of the guards just shoves, like, cloth in your mouth and then, like, puts something over your head so you can't spit it out.
Lots of muffled yelling.
Okay. You eventually find that you are at the outcrop of the top of the Silver Valley, and you are starting to enter one of the overhanged glass passageways leading towards the Turaista, or the Great Library. And you're walking towards it, but you're on the burned side, and it's almost like completely like carbonized over. And you look up and you notice it's a relatively moonless night. And although the stars are there, it definitely seems overcast, and it definitely has a foreboding feeling.
Why are you doing this? What do you want with me? Can't you just... If you want me dead, just fucking kill me. But, wait, I'm gagged. Oops.
You are gagged. He kind of looks back at your calm down muttering and just says, "It's a shame, Doll. But It is necessary to regain what's been lost.
Shit.
And so much more. You see, we're not particularly mad about what you did. In fact, it was a educational experience for many of us. Most of us, I dare say. But you'll see soon. And as the platform reaches the top and you begin entering on the less so burn side of the library, you're walking across the bridge, and it's kind of the central tube that's leading directly towards the center of the kind of large spherical building. And you're walking in, and Elivira says, I sent my estranged husband to find Dahl to warn her never to come back here. It was one of the last messages I could get out, but it appears that he didn't succeed. I hope he is alright, but something dark has taken over here. A thirst for knowledge that seems unquenchable.
Seems like it. Yeah. If they're willing to kill somebody over a few books being burned, like, that's not okay.
To be honest, I could understand the death piece there, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay, well, yes, but, like, obviously I get where they're coming from. It was really shitty, but, like, really that shouldn't give a death sentence. I do understand their feelings now. That was a little rough, but we're gonna figure that out. But yeah, no, your husband didn't warn Dahl at all.
Well, I think I think Dahl's old boss is still around here.
In a way, what can you tell me that you know about the Great Old Ones?
That.
It likes to consume with fire. And it definitely has a thirst that's unquenchable.
An insatiable lust for knowledge and secrets.
And
Definitely.
powerful objects.
Indeed.
That makes so much more sense. Okay.
But also, there is more than just one of them, and they tend not to focus on any one area unless something attracts its attention.
And all this knowledge here is attracting attention.
Unbeknownst to us, our treasure trove of information by itself would not have normally been enough, but my child unfortunately drew its eye and opened the way.
How many great old ones are there?
I cannot say, but judging by the look on your friend's face, you may just have met one of them. And Anal kind of looks pensive. In the meantime, Dahl, you are being brought through this scorched sections of this library, but you notice some peculiar things. One of which is that it looks like some of the fires are still burning, still eating books. slowly, but it's slowly kind of eating away at the knowledge of the library. And as you walk in deeper, you notice there are sections of stone bookcases that are just completely empty. And just ash lays on the ground, and carbon is kind of outlying on all of the glass spheres. As you know, the library is made of multiple concurrent spheres getting tighter and tighter until you get into the core, which is where the Sanctuary of the 12 is, where some of the most important information was kept. You thought...
I try to spit out this gag.
It's like tied around you with another piece of cloth.
Yeah. Okay.
You would have thought the fire would have gone out a long time ago.
Years ago.
Meanwhile, Sybil, Lucius, and Anal are being escorted. And you come to like this upper observation deck where a piece of this like smaller sphere, as you've been walking through this spheres, has been kind of cleaned and wiped away, and you can actually see inside of the 12th sanctuary, the Sanctuary of the 12. And she says, "There it is. I'm not sure how much I will be able to help, as I have been dealing with it for quite some time, and it takes a toll on you. But..." And Qatar kind of looks back, and you do hear footsteps behind you, and she says, "High Priestess, High Archivist, I think we may need to send them ahead and deal with the people behind us. Indeed. If you follow this down, there's a staircase which should lead you there." She hands Sybil a medallion, says, "This should let you go in. You're going to have to jump." And she turns around and says, "Good luck, and please, save my doll." And she walks away. And as you turn around, you look into the sanctuary and see through kind of this glass that's almost shimmering and kind of almost in liquid form. You see Dahl and Wayseric and two other guard members kind of pop through. And as you are walking closer, as they're walking closer to the center of the room, they go over this pretty burnt red rug. And looking down into the sanctuary, you see this. There's this large black orb in the center of the room that's ever so occasionally shimmering. It seems like there used to be a lot of stone tables and bookshelves in this room that have just been burned completely to nothing. And kind of looking into the black orb, it's almost mesmerizing in a way. And you can almost see what looks like deeper into it flickers of movement. And Dahl, as you enter back into the place where you were first introduced to your employer, you see the broken stone table where you had originally been utilizing the grimoire and other notes to summon the employer there. This orb wasn't there before. it seems this is new. And Waysteric looks at it and says, I like what you did to the place. But you didn't finish. You see, you weren't supposed to escape that fire. As this entity burned away at all of our knowledge, it began to stabilize a foothold here. A foothold that we have been feeding and giving energy to in order to gain its favor. But there was something missing. A piece of information it didn't get to consume properly. I think that missing piece of information is you.
I was like panic laughing, just like trying to speak but can't.
And as you look into this orb, you can almost see past it. And as you look deeper and deeper, you see something shift. And you see this fire roaring within it. And it starts to move closer. And you're not quite sure what to make of it, but your heartbeat is just going faster and faster and faster. You thought you were done with your previous employer, but he wasn't done with you. And you see a flaming hand start to reach out of this orb, and this form starts to kind of pull through. And you can feel your heart start to go in your throat. What is going on upstairs?
Well, Lucas, we're gonna jump down.
Printing.
So you guys are sprinting down to the staircase, and you see that once you get down there and you look, there is a drop-off point. And there's actually just smooth glass leading into a hole in the floor underneath this other orb.
Yep.
And what appears to just be a solid face of glass.
Yep. I can jump down first. I will be safe. And then we can try and get you guys down there.
Just hold the medallion out, and we're all gonna go one by one, because it might be a time thing.
It's fair. Well,
Everybody hold hands and jump.
Yeah. God, how does it work if I'm slow falling with two friends?
I mean, you have to jump across into the orb. It's to the center portion.
Okay.
It seems if you don't have it and you try to make the jump and you don't get through, you fall to the center of the valley.
Got me.
Probably.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Like Game of Thrones.
Okay.
There's this spot. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
I know. The moon door.
That thing. Thank you. I was looking for it.
Are you guys going to run and jump? Okay. And we will say, as you run and you jump, you feel yourself lift a little bit. And as you do, I would say that you feel yourself almost being pulled towards the orb as you hit against the glass, and you feel like you're going to make contact with the hard surface, but it almost slows you down. And it drops you onto the floor inside of this empty room that you were looking at. And in front of you, you see this orb, and you see Doll kind of bound and gagged. And the two guards holding her kind of, or them, turn around and look, and almost immediately...
Hannibal.
Hold on. Almost immediately, like, a Null jumps up and just angry, just, like, bites the neck of one of them and, like, rips his throat out. And...
As a Dragonborn, or did he wild shape?
We'll leave that to him. But, Sybil, you go up and you just kind of sucker punch the shit out of the other one and knock him out. And Wayseric turns around and starts backing up and says, "It's too late. The Seeker's already here." And as you guys are all there, you see that hand start to pull out, and there's a bigger body coming out of the portal. And it's growing larger as it steps through, almost to the size of the portal itself. And just flames start kind of pushing out of it, just so you can get a better look at it. I think it's... I don't know. I want to make him really big so you can see him for a second. This just avatar of flame kind of erupts from this orb. And Anal kind of like drops the guard that he was holding, and Wayseric backs up past this kind of avatar of flame. And Lucius, you kind of come up and you undo kind of the bindings for Doll, and it kind of just looks at Doll, and fire starts erupting out of the back of it as it looks like it's flaring up excited. And I think now would probably be a pretty good time to roll initiative next time.
No!
Because we're missing somebody here, and you're probably going to need the help.
What if we just text him to see where he's at? I will say, like, when Lucius is, like, getting them out, Doll's just like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
We found you!
We got you! It's gonna be okay.
You need to run.
We can't.
Oh.
We're gonna beat this buddy. We're gonna beat this buddy. All four of us are gonna beat this buddy. And I really...
We're gonna beat up your boss. Just like I
really
promised.
want to go grab Barceric by the fucking...
He is behind the large flaming elemental.
I know, but I bet he has this terrible, terrible goatee thing. I just want to grab him by him, yank it down, like put him to the butt of the fire avatar.
We'll see.
Damn.
I have the ice pouch. Oh no, I think Anal has the ice pouch. I feel like we should open the ice pouch.
Anal might have had the ice pouch. Remember, he was one of the few people that decided to leave his stuff in the castle when leaving in, like, the second episode.
Did you guys take Doll's stuff with you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Did you guys look through Doll's bag?
We have our stuff on hand when we
You
were
have
in
your
the
stuff. And actually, one of the guards that was escorting Doll has their spellbook.
Book. My book. I need that.
Yeah, and I have my staffs, right?
You all have your stuff.
So, like, good. So, a question for when we do initiative next time. So, Doll with their old boss had an arcane focus. That was the ring. They lost that. They got the fire wrists.
Mm-hmm.
And to do ritual stuff, I need components in the spell book. But without that focus, is Doll's book the focus, or can they do magic like without it on their person?
I'd say you can use it through the wristbands.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
That's good. Oof, yeah.
All right.
Perfect timing because my laptop is about to die, so I was going to try to go downstairs.
Perfect. Well,
Well,
We couldn't go
As, like-
quite as far, but welcome to a surprise boss fight.
Yeah.
I am sorry. I didn't.
Corruption arc.
Yeah, really, for real. I
Beat up a
like,
great
I-
old one.
Yeah, why not? Burn somebody alive. It's like I made that choice, and then it's like as you guys were trying to get out of the thing, and I was like, what did I just do? What did I actually just do? Oh, there's like not a lot going back from that, right?
So I'm curious, Alina, how do you feel about this with as like a whole of seeing what's been going on? And
It's. I will be honest with you. I thought Ellie was kicked out of the society. Like I didn't think she was going to be here. Um, I'm happy. I'm also like, okay, so what did you guys think the society was going to look like? Because you guys kept saying cult, and I was like, I wonder if they're going to
cult.
still think it's a cult, because it's like super ornate and shit, and there's like libraries and.
Okay, well, like, if you want, so, you guys know Scientology. So there are a bunch of Scientology buildings around where I live. And, like, one of the coolest buildings in LA, because it's always this bright blue, because they repaint it, like, every 3 months, is a Scientology building. So, like, cults are fucking ornate. I mean, one of the biggest cults
Fancy
in
cults.
history is Catholicism.
Yeah, look at all the churches.
They're beautiful. Just beautiful.
Just one
Seeing
big
on
cult.
Very culty.
What's it? The Mormon church that's on like, what is it, 32 when you're driving towards DC.
Also a cult.
No, I'm like,
Scientology buildings is scary because there are literally bars on all of the windows, like cameras all.
They got to protect that knowledge.
yeah,
Mhm.
really.
And
Their
like,
secret science knowledge.
feel like you're going to be grabbed.
Every time I like prepare, like, okay, so this is probably where this is going to go. I'll like, I will be like, what should I do to prepare for that? What should I do? And then it's like every time, I'm like, oh, I was not preparing for that at all.
You mean you weren't ready to burn someone alive?
No, I mean, it's they're all susceptible to bad influences. We know this.
I aim to
He did
surprise.
say, like, you have to burn when I say burn.
Yeah, no, but it's more like a shitty boyfriend. Oh man. No, I'm kind of excited to see what the aftermath, if we survive, because I don't have any spells, folks. I don't have any spells. All I have are
I
cantrips
burned
now.
like 6 of my spells trying to break the glass because I was like, I should just probably keep casting Shatter.
Yeah, I burnt like, I want to say I burnt like 3 or so key points trying to get us out of there.
Don't nerf
And Null
yourselves.
expressed a lot of energy trying to break that shit down.
So are we running or are we fighting?
We're fighting.
We're
I
fighting.
have an idea. We could
Yes.
try to give it shitty knowledge and it'll like get less strong. Like tell it like not riddles, but like stupid jokes.
Secrets.
That
You
is-
mean fake news?
Jeez. Yeah. Oh, I just want to keep playing.
Like
Someone
2
text
plus 2
Omar.
is lemon.
I love it.
Mm.
We're doing this.
No, I like it. I like to think that like when it's like slowly and burning through everything, it's not just like consuming. It's very methodical. Like a book will open, a page will burn, and it's like flipping through, like someone reading it. And
Letters
each page, like,
burn.
yeah, exactly. And it's like everything's like carbonized, but like books are still there, the chairs, the desks, everything's like there, but it's like burnt out.
Just gotta give it some shitty information.
That's all it
Um,
takes.
Yeah. Ooh, remember way back when Lucia said, "We're gonna kill your boss."
Yeah.
So was yeah, it was a while ago. Did Oliveira, did she intuit that Doll's new boss is also a great old one, or is she talking about the other one?
Just talking about the first boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me take that out of my notes.
I didn't think your current boss was a.
No, I didn't think so.
He's just Lucifer incarnate.
Yeah.
Hello, Lucy. Lucifer.
Just a sexy Lucifer coming to you in the bath.
Bath time
He's a
Lucifer.
freak. Yeah, really.
More like Lucifer Morningstar in Lucifer, the show, as opposed to like classic.
Hmm. Handsome devil.
I figured.
Bad influence.
Exactly.
I'm down for dull corruption arc. Just
Ah,
saying.
jeez. Here we go
Just-
again.
I don't know.
You thought we were scraping the bottom of the barrel, but how low does this barrel go?
No, it's a surprise to
It's
dull.
a false
every
bottom
single
barrel, and you're like, oh shit, it
Yeah.
keeps going.
Yeah.
There's fish in this barrel. Let's shoot them.
hmm
12 buckshot shotgun.
Shoots
They
their own
all
foot.
float up. Light of dynamite.
1%.
One more second. Oh, 1%.
Sesh, love you, everyone.
Love you too. Hope your ankle feels better. Bye.
Bye.
Get rest.
First, though, I am begging for this recap so I can fix my notes.